You like jazz? Welcome to Last Call for episode 20, everyone. Joined by Chris, Mike, Hartley, and Maggie.
I love
And
jazz.
what an episode it was.
Wow. Okay. Big 2-0, folks.
The big
Holy
2-0.
shit.
The big fucking 2-0. We
Yeah.
did it.
Yeah.
Milestone.
Milestone.
Big ol' milestone.
What a one to be the 20. What a one.
to be
And
the
of course,
20th.
on the 20, I get rocked.
Yes. Yeah, we
Absolutely
kicked the
demolished.
snot out of you.
I'm
Here's
so
the thing.
sorry.
Here's the thing. A little peek behind the screen for the audience. I was nervous ahead of this session.
Yeah.
I wanted to make sure you guys were prepared because at the start of this one, you guys had none of your weapons.
Yeah.
Minx, you didn't have any element orbs.
Yeah.
There was such an element of chaos that could have happened in this episode.
Yeah, really.
And everything went against me.
Yeah.
Starting this episode, I think I was shaking rolling dice for the first 20 to 30 minutes.
Yeah.
It was not comfy. Also, because Chris was like, guys, remember you have items.
He's like
Just
literally
like
reminding
generic
us.
He was like,
reminders.
I just want to remind you that you have no weapons.
Yeah.
So just make sure having
Just
a
so
plan.
you know.
You
having
should have a
plan would be a
plan.
good idea.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I never want bad things to happen to your characters. I love your characters.
No.
So
This was exceptional.
I do get nervous during fights. At the same time, I kind of want my villains to be doing
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
You just
Yeah.
don't hold back on us. And I
No.
think that that's great.
I think Rogar took about maybe 10 attacks in that episode. I think he hit on 2 of them.
Yeah.
The amount of 1, 2s, and 3s that I rolled is insane. And I will get into mechanics about the homebrew stuff I had for this
Yeah.
Yeah.
because this fight could have gone way worse.
100%.
But it didn't.
But it did not.
I mean, as much as we want to talk about the end,
we should start
I
at
think
the
I
I
end.
think
know.
chronologically
I
we should
know.
sort of talk about the episode because we did come in with a good plan.
Yeah,
we
that
came in
yeah.
with
we
3
literally-
separate plans.
we
which was
literally
great.
made Chris leave the room before the session. We were like, all right, what plans do we have for this episode?
What do we do?
Basically, what would we have been talking about walking there? Kind
Yeah,
of.
exactly. And with those plans, the Ferritin coin, using that
Yeah.
as an excuse.
I love how you pulled that out.
Oh yeah, I was excited. It almost worked too.
Oh.
Everything sort of fell into place except for just that one deception check.
But at the very least, that revealed where the weapons were.
Yeah.
It
Yep.
revealed that he had something in his coat.
Right.
Well, because I fucked up poison. We all
Because
everything.
the full success would have been us ultimately poisoning him.
And then
right?
him being super weak.
that would have been the
Yeah.
smoothest
Yeah.
option.
Yeah, that would have been the smoothest option. I had a backup plan
Mm-hmm.
if that didn't work out, and it was pulling out the speaking stone
Yeah.
and pretending that I'm talking to Ferritin and being like
Direct
oh,
line.
direct line. I'm like, oh, you want us to move the items now? And getting Rogar to help us move the items out of the fucking cavern or something,
could've
and then
been
trying to
sick.
figuring out
How to deal
how to
with
deal
him.
with him or something like that. But I think that went in a very fuck.
And the fact that it failed, I almost like more because it got
Oh, of course.
tense. It
Yeah.
was really good. It got tense and then immediately broke out into this fight, and it felt realistic.
I'm
in
happy
a sense.
I'm
Yeah.
happy that we we tried and failed.
Yes,
Rather
agreed.
than
We got
our
so
bumbling.
close.
Agreed.
We got so close.
I don't know what our plan was after we got him fully on our side. I was still
Well, he
thinking
would-
the moment he trusts us and he turns around, just taking a swing at him.
Well, the plan would have been him poisoned.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So then
exactly.
ultimately,
Stealth
from then we
Yeah.
would have either had him on our side and he would be getting weaker and weaker, and then figure out a way to kill him,
True.
or just start attacking him. But he would have been significantly weaker, right?
He would have been at
Yeah.
a disadvantage for sure because I think the mechanics for the deep gnome poison, I didn't mechanically plan for him ingesting it.
Yeah.
That would have been wild. So that probably would have been
Double damage.
Well, it would have been effects that would have been happening every single turn,
Yeah.
Right.
Much the same way that was happening to Euclid, and we'll get into that.
Because you just
Yeah.
dip a weapon in that,
Because
right?
coating
You would
it
just
is
coat it a weapon,
4d6.
so you get
Fuck,
slashes.
drink the whole vial.
Yeah.
He would drink the whole vial. So obviously there would be repercussions to
every
ingesting
turn.
it
Yeah.
into his system.
Imagine you accidentally put in Meridium.
Oops.
Yeah.
He just
Fuck.
becomes a warlord.
Okay.
Okay, sorry.
Rogar.
Yes.
First of all, he had 157 hit points.
Yeah, he did.
That's really
That's a lot of hit points. Holy
Michael,
shit.
I know.
Nah, it's not that bad.
Here's the thing.
so
157.
That's insane.
But the same thing with the action economy. He was going once per round. You guys were going 4 times. So
Yeah.
evidently it does
Sure.
he
help.
had 2
With
actions.
2 attacks.
He had 2 attacks, but he only
Okay.
has 1
Action.
turn per
Yeah.
No
per round.
legendary actions.
No
No legendary action. She's
Yeah.
not a legendary
Which
figure.
I was
No.
expecting.
No lair actions.
I was expecting
There
later
was
Yeah.
a lair action
With the eels.
With the eels.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what I had planned. Where if you guys displayed any kind of magic, he would release the eels
And
and
it
act as
was-
sort of these wild
oops,
cards
the
swimming
eels.
around.
Yeah, you just forgot that we have Clue Standy on our team.
Well, here's the thing. The frightening was crazy because I couldn't do anything.
You're damn fucking
You really got
right,
bound.
Chris.
I
Yeah.
love
wild.
you as a paladin. I love you as a
Yeah.
paladin.
Hey guys,
Very good.
I'm Clue Standy. I'm a paladin.
Yeah.
This was really Clue's episode.
Yeah, you know what? It's Clue Standy's
And also very
I'm a
fitting
paladin.
because your birthday is in 2 days.
you're damn right.
Yeah, happy
Thank
almost
you.
birthday.
Yeah, that
Thank
was on
you.
purpose.
Yeah.
I went easy on you guys.
Right. No, I did good. Yeah, dude, that was awesome. I usually roll like dog shit. We all usually roll like dog shit.
Hartley, you fucking killed it though. With the fear round.
And you know what?
It's
So
crazy.
the interesting thing was I started with the bless. The
Yeah.
bless helped throughout the whole thing.
Yeah.
Because I knew, paladin, let's start with something at least a little team focused, right? So I started with that. And then it came around to my turn a second time. I had been hit and I was like, should I do damage or should I get a little funky with it? And Minx or Maggie Maggie goes funk, and I go, all right, we getting funky, and we go for the conquering presence, which turned out to be the best decision.
That was an OP move.
Holy
shit.
It wasn't the fact that like it happened one turn. I
It didn't
rolled
break.
so bad
Yeah.
on the wisdom
is
checks
insane.
Yeah.
that like it stayed the entire fight. Like even without rolling disadvantage on the wisdom, I was rolling crazy
Crap.
bad.
Yeah.
What's another thing I had? Okay, so Rogar's eyes.
Yeah.
So he ingested this or snorted this powder, and a little peek behind the screen.
Right.
It's his rage, right?
No.
No?
So Rogar was a fighter, not a
Oh,
barbarian.
shit.
So that's why he had his
Oh.
second
You-
wind and his action surge.
Right.
You said he's gonna feel a little reckless at one point, and I was like, oh, he's a
Oh.
barbarian.
No.
That's so funny.
No.
Okay.
You guys already fought barbarians as little as
Yeah.
they were, so I figured I'd mix it up a little bit.
True.
But he was he snorted something called cat.
Okay. And what's cat?
So cat, and I'll say this right now because this was happening to him the entire fight. Cat was Constitution and Temp HP.
Oh.
So he snorted this substance. He was getting 5 temporary hit points every turn.
Wow.
Holy shit.
And he would be getting advantage on con saving throws,
Which he made none.
which he made none.
Wow.
And at the
On
same time,
top of his hit points?
on
that
top
you
of his
told
hit
us?
points. Yes.
Holy shit. So he was like almost at 200 hit points probably. All in all.
Not
Maybe
quite.
like- maybe like
the
5
fight lasted
rounds.
4 or 5 rounds. So he had an extra 20,
175.
25 hit points.
Fuck,
He also
dude.
didn't snort every round. I don't like.
No, but it is a homebrew.
Yeah.
So this effect lasts for an hour.
Holy
Which is
Okay,
why when you came out of this room, Wink also still had yellow eyes.
Yeah.
Right.
Was the powder in the shipment?
You guys didn't open the shipment.
We didn't touch it.
Right.
Which we're not supposed to do.
And it was just the powder that we saw on him, right?
He just snorted
Yeah.
the powder that was in
Yeah.
his luxurious coat.
Yeah.
But that's actually a good call. That it's probably a shipment of that powder.
Might be.
I bet you it is because they're delivering that shipment to Ferrodin,
Right.
right?
That
So
was
Ferrodin wants
Rogar's
that.
plan.
It was
their
Which
update
you
plan.
figured out through
Intercepted.
your pleasant
Deception.
conversation with
Yeah.
him.
Yeah. Yeah. Were you expecting the coins to come into play?
Your eyes went wide.
I'm so curious.
I didn't know what to expect. You guys put me in that room for quite a bit. Yeah, no. I'm like, how did they know that he was doing business with Ferrodin?
We just guessed.
didn't. Hardly.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, go.
Fuck yeah.
You
That
did
was,
it.
I mean, that was a good gut move.
I just figured like the only way we get in the door, it closed enough time for a conversation to happen for us to find weapons, stuff like that, is to have a reason to be there.
Yeah.
And us like being sent by anybody besides Ferrodin wouldn't make sense with like.
Of course.
So I don't know. It just worked out.
Well,
'cause
it
I
makes
looked- because Chris, you said look at your inventories, and I was like, I got 3 red Ferrodin.
Yeah.
Yeah, the fact that we had them.
Yeah.
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 And I think like
The moment he pulled out his 4th, we all were like, "Oh shit!"
well, ultimately he hates Madam Pouch, right?
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
we're coming on behalf of Madame Pouch,
Mhm.
but the one person that would never be working with Madame Pouch is Ferritin.
Yeah, of
right.
course.
So like having that coin,
It
really
just set us
it just set us
aside,
up
yeah.
for like a little bit more of a success, right? Instead of having to make up like another random story. So yeah, that was great thinking, Hartley.
Thank you.
That was awesome. That was a good move.
And then
Well, we did the that whole
Deception.
thing was so fun to play.
I feel so bad because that's another deep gnome poison that's been wasted.
Yeah.
In a sense,
I know.
both, I know.
Yeah.
Wait, did we have one each?
you had one.
Or
So
just two.
Dylan is the only one that has
Dylan
one
has
left.
one left.
Oh, I
Yeah,
have
yeah.
a deep gnome poison.
Yeah.
I should update my inventory.
Yeah.
Um,
You do.
well, it went great until the botched poisoning /
know.
looking up the sword.
I had so much hope with my invisible, because I was like, ooh, I
Oh,
love this.
dude,
Yeah.
it was
No,
such
I
a good
know.
idea.
Yeah, no, it was
Well,
great.
'cause
Listen, these are all 10 out of 10.
Originally, Chris, when you were out of the room,
Mhm.
I wanted to put it with the eels.
And she wanted
And I
to
wanted to
dump the
poison
deep
the
gnome poison
eels.
into the eel vat.
And I forgot he was
Oh.
drinking wine, though, or because you
Mhm.
mentioned
Yeah.
that last game, too. And I just completely
Forgot,
spaced on
yeah.
it. But then as soon as I saw it, I was like,
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Yeah, you were
yes.
like looking at me and like mouthing things, and I'm like, I don't know what you're saying. I have no idea.
but like,
that was great.
Yeah, it was a much easier in, and it would have been cleaner. But
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like I could not have rolled worse. Especially too, like if
I
I
know.
had gotten like maybe 3 or 4 more hits, that would have probably altered the battle significally.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah. I was.
Because
I was.
I could have stopped doing damage, and I would have just been healing too. So then,
for sure.
if you're like, if you're any of your things dropped,
I know
that would have
concentration.
changed an entire round of combat.
we should really divvy up those health potions
I know.
next time.
We didn't need
We
one.
didn't. Yeah, we didn't need one.
Oh, I got 1 point of damage. That was the first battle where I
Yeah.
wasn't almost dying.
Yeah.
Hell
Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
Me
Yeah,
too,
I would-
all of us, I think.
The thing is, like, with my hit points, they're so low. So it's like, if he was to get one more strike on me, the same type that he got on
Yeah,
me,
yeah,
like
yeah.
one or two times, I would have gone down.
Well, like that
And
was
that
the
would've
thing.
changed
It just
things.
honestly, the frightening was
Yeah.
fucked because
Unreal.
there's a
Yeah.
couple of times where we'll probably even remove it from the episode where Chris went through this hits. It's 16 damage. I'm going down. I've got 10 HP left, and then I go, wait, hold on, actually, Chris,
You
he
didn't
would
do
have
that-
been rolling that with disadvantage,
like,
and you go, oh fuck yeah, he rolls with disadvantage and he misses, and so we might cut all of that out, but it would have gone different.
And on top
Yeah.
of that, he was using a weapon made of meridium,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
has significant like abilities to it. Like
Julia.
Julia. Yeah, his
What-
precious
Okay.
Julia.
Clue, are
So
you going to use Julia?
No, I think Dylan's going to use Julia.
Yeah, I mean, Dylan is down to give it to whoever wants it, but
Do you want to use Julia?
I
I don't know.
definitely-
You're a shovel boy.
Listen,
I don't know.
Listen, it already
what
has a
kinda-
name.
What
He's
kind
the guy
of
who names.
what kind of sword is it again? It's just
it's a
a
great
battle
axe.
axe.
Great axe.
It's a
Great
great
axe.
axe. I'll say
Are you
this.
proficient?
Would you like to know what Julia does?
Yes,
You made me wait for
please.
weeks for the power
And I'm not even
gauntlet,
asking it. It's
motherfucker.
giving. So you have to be nice and quiet.
I don't
Well,
know how to
respectful.
do that,
You have to,
Michael.
You have to raise your hand. Excuse me, Chris.
The reason I'm doing
What
this.
does Julia do?
The reason I'm doing this, and we'll probably explain it again
Yeah,
in
of course.
the actual episodes. But then I'm doing this because the effects of it have already kind of been revealed
shown,
during that
yeah.
fight. So first of all,
Bleed.
Yeah, you bleeding boy.
weapons that are either formed or made from meridium will have extra abilities associated with it. Great Axe deals slashing damage. So with every hit that you get with a slashing damage weapon made of meridium, you cause residual slashing damage to that person each round.
Wow.
So Clue, you were getting a D4 of damage every time.
Mhm.
And I'll say this, which really sucks, because I only probably hit either of you once or twice.
They
those
stack?
D4s stack.
Fuck.
Holy.
So Dylan,
Yeah.
if you had been hit 3 times on
Yeah.
top of the damage that he was dealing,
Yeah.
3D4
every round
rounds?
you would have been getting 3d4 extra damage
Fuck.
from these deep wounds that would not heal.
until you heal, until
Should
you
we-
like pop.
Okay, well,
I
we
will
should
pop a
also
potion.
we should make sure to heal before
for sure.
the next episode.
And I will say, with that mechanic, because it is a homebrew as well, with that mechanic, you can stitch yourself up with like a quick medicine check.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It would require an action, and it would have to be in the middle of the fight. So it would require an action
Right.
to kind of heal
Really
up.
interesting. Really interesting.
Insane.
I don't know if I am proficient
What
in
is-
axes. I'm in martial weapons and simple weapons.
It would
Yeah.
be. It would be.
I believe it would be a martial
It's a
weapon.
martial
It's a
weapon.
martial weapon?
Is
Yeah.
it
Sick.
a great axe?
I think
I
a
believe
great
it's a
axe.
martial
It's the
weapon.
same. It's the same as a great sword. I think. I'm proficient.
It's two-handed as long as you're proficient
I'm proficient in martial and simple. That's it. And I wield a
Yeah,
great sword.
great axes are typically considered a martial weapon.
Yes, sir. What's Dylan gonna name it?
Sick.
If he
Julia.
names it, you're gonna keep Julia.
Of course.
Okay.
I don't change a girl's name.
So
It's a
I
name.
will
Fair.
say this. I will say
What's your
this. Because it's Meridium, it's considered a magical weapon.
Sick.
No.
I have to attune to it.
No, it's just
No
a weapon.
magical weapon.
It's also a +1 weapon.
Oh,
yeah.
my God.
So am I cool to just add a +1
I
great
think
axe
it's
into-
yours,
Are you
dude.
guys okay with that?
Yeah.
I'm happy with
All
that.
right.
What the fuck am I gonna do with it?
Now
yeah.
I will say this.
Do you,
so
do
now
you want Dinah?
No, keep
No
it.
one wants Dinah.
No, only.
So I will say this. That is what happens when you use Meridium on a slashing weapon. I'm not going to tell you what happens if you form with different kinds of weapons like bludgeoning or piercing, or even with armor. You will have to find that out yourself.
Gotcha.
But that is what happens with slashing Meridium weapons.
Yo, a +1 great axe is fucked.
I know.
+7 to hit, and then 1d12 +5 for damage.
Yeah. Yeah. Welcome.
Let's go.
Welcome to the world of great
Let's
weapons.
go.
Oh yeah.
Wow, I am so happy.
Speaking of great weapons, using the power gauntlet for the
Yeah,
first
power
time.
gauntlet was
Fuck
used
yeah,
as well.
you whip that out.
Oh yes.
So that added what, an extra D10 to that sword attack?
Yeah, and each extra D10.
On top of that, you smited as well. So that was
Yeah.
that was 26 damage.
It was 2d10 plus 2d8 plus 4.
Yeah, that was crazy. And on top of that, Dax was hiding every turn and getting sneak attack damage. Everyone
Every
is
time.
hitting.
Yeah.
And it's not like he wasn't super weak. He had 16 AC
You're damn right.
and
yeah.
157
Yeah.
hit points plus the extra 5 he was getting every turn.
Yeah, Dax was killing it.
Yeah. Everyone was rolling really well.
I feel like I did.
No one got hit by the eels. I couldn't
Yeah.
get Rogar out of his wisdom. He was frightened the entire time.
That was wild. Maggie, your wild magic. Oh boy.
Holy
my
shit.
God.
You learned.
That's the other thing. I set up this whole crazy magic's wild. What could happen? You're not using it safely.
Oh my
And what
God.
happens the first time it happens?
Absolutely
You walk on
fucked
water.
Element
Maggie
Orbs.
learns a new language and has the ability to walk on water.
Chris,
Oh my god.
just so we're not what's the word I'm looking for? Jaded?
Yeah.
Just so we're not jaded with this. Can you give us just one
Just like a random-
like a terrible
Like a bad one?
Like a bad one. Like what could happen potentially?
You got it.
Just give us one real bad one, because that was wild. Not only
Yeah.
did you learn
Oh
a
my
new
God.
action, but you started walking on
Well,
water.
honestly, it reminded me because
Yeah,
in
so that
Baldur's
moment-
Gate, playing
Yeah.
a barbarian character, I picked a wild magic barbarian playing person.
Okay.
And I'm like, fuck, all these wild magic rage options are super fucking dope. I
Yeah.
haven't had one that I didn't like.
Yeah.
And that's what it felt like.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yes.
like, shit,
Maybe
maybe
I
I
should just keep
should.
doing
that
maybe I
moment
should like
of
wild magic more.
you learning speaking Draconic and
For
then
a
the
day.
raising out of the water was such a vivid image in my mind. Terrifying.
I love it.
Terrifying.
It's just rising.
Dax. Just watch.
So funny.
Jesus.
What's
That's
a
so
bad
good.
one? Okay, you are confused for 1 minute.
All right.
As if with the confusion spell, which
Yeah.
you could start attacking random people.
Yeah.
10 turns.
You literally could have teleported to a different place.
Oh,
Oh,
shit.
yeah.
Oh, like you just would have been whoop.
Gone.
Different. Yeah.
Gone.
I'm just gone.
Honestly, if you did that after you did the satanic speak, walking on water,
Yeah.
He'd be
floating,
more
It
scared.
would
that would
make
be great.
sense.
What am I the
Well, that's why I started
Gone.
getting scared. I was like, these are some nice ones.
Yeah,
These are some
I'm
It's
starting
like
to play with.
yeah, risk in D&D.
I kind of want to do it again.
I know. Now
Yeah.
I want to do it again.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
and-
was wild.
Yeah, I'm using a revised wild magic surge table because that's kind of what this is. It's
Yeah.
a wild magic surge.
Yeah.
And for the basic wild magic risk, for Clue in the Wandering Wonder when he took those drinks, obviously the bartender's not going to be serving extreme wild magic.
No.
So that was more of the nuisance kind of magic.
Right.
Yeah.
This was moderate magic.
Yeah.
So there's a chance it could have gone really bad or
Yeah.
really wild.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll say, just adding on to this mechanic as well, the higher spells that you cast without the use of element orbs, the wild magic could become extreme.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, that's what.
Yeah.
I'm like the fear. Chris, don't get me wrong. Fear's there, but I'm like, wow. Again, with this fight, luck all
Yeah.
the way through.
Oh, yeah.
Felt like
100%.
luck.
Oh yeah.
Just a horseshoe up our fucking
Yeah.
ass.
Yeah.
Insane.
It's crazy how completely opposite it is to the other ones we did.
Yeah.
Or like the Prince of Pelor Festival, or like the
Or
fights
like
with Big B.
Me fighting the troll.
Like, you know,
Everything was just survive.
we are
Please
literally,
Yeah.
and this one just felt like this was the easiest game
And
ever.
it culminated in a tonal shift.
Yeah. Oh yes.
Yeah, Rogar.
Right.
Rogar at the beginning was like coming across as like a Bond villain, essentially.
Yeah.
Like look at my severed hands. Look at my
Yeah.
collection.
Yeah.
I'm in works with the bad guy from
Look-
this campaign.
the finger.
And all of a sudden, like halfway through the fight, how can you speak Dragonborn? This
Yeah.
is insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
it's
yeah.
just like
Oh my God.
complete, like comical, like
Yeah.
luck. It's
Yeah.
wild.
Yeah, and then instead of killing him, Clue chopped his little arms off.
Oh,
Well-
such a good moment.
Yeah, that was good.
I
those are
loved
full-on
it.
tonal shift.
We
as well.
we got a little sneak peek at like some more workings at play through
Yeah.
this fight, like with Minx using that like telekinetic like pull.
Mhm.
Like we got more of like
More
the voice
voices.
inside your
Yeah.
head. Yeah. And at the same time, like we saw a little bit more of maybe past Clue, which we haven't really got into
Army
yet.
Clue.
Yeah, really cool. Like, good on you for playing to your character like that. That was
Well, I also, because I was thinking in the moment, and like you play D&D, and like, okay, so
You play D&D.
No, listen, you play D&D,
Yeah,
and
listen.
you want to
Sorry.
ride the line.
Old man Clue.
You want to ride the
Sorry.
line between fun and like being able to just kill people, because it's you're killing people in the end.
Yes, of course.
And also being like a morally good like person.
Oh,
right?
you don't have to be. It's D&D.
No, for sure. But like generally we're good guys and there's a bad guy in the plot.
Yeah,
and, like
yeah.
we're all playing good-ish
Of course.
characters, right?
We haven't killed anyone, I don't think, at this point that has that has asked us to let them go though.
well, so that's the thing.
this is
And
the
so-
only character that's ever done that.
Well,
Right.
this guy put like he dropped to his knees. He's
Mhm.
clearly a bad guy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Clearly a bad guy.
Yeah.
Drops to his knees and pleads for his life. But like, what am I gonna do there? I could kill him.
Yeah.
I kind of wanted to.
It was interesting table wise though,
Yeah.
because Dylan brought him down
Yeah.
to that point. Chris said something that was happening, basically like he was
axe.
like here, like I just don't want, I want to stop, blah blah blah, and then
I
it
got
went
the
back to
axe.
Mike. Mike got it, and I remember you looked at me and you were like, guys, like what do we do? I looked down, kind of being like, Dylan, it's your just innately in my
as
own
if
head.
it was going to be
It
my
was gonna be
extermination.
your
Like, I
choice,
was going to be the one that
and
was
you were
going
gonna
to
do it, and then Clue just like then you jumped in, and I wasn't expecting that
Yeah.
to happen,
That was sick.
and so that caught me off guard because I was expecting you to make the
Mhm.
choice, and then I didn't expect you to say, "We'll let you live," and that threw me.
Yeah. And then,
And then
yeah.
it went to
extend your hands.
Just
like,
waving hands.
well, basically,
Yeah.
it was just like, what are you gonna do with him? Like,
Yeah.
I was so at
So
a
that-
loss of like,
Yeah.
what do we do with him
Like-
then? What
like-
are we taking him with us? Like,
We
what
can't
is
do
this?
that.
Yeah.
You
How
don't
is
want
this
him in the
the job?
city. We need to quote unquote deal with him. And so it tied in so perfectly. This Bond villain shows a coat full of hands.
That was really, and
and-
that was my thinking of it.
And then exactly. And then the moment he I just pictured it so vividly in my
it
mind.
was a really good moment.
Of you asking for the battle axe, him extending it with both of his hands, and me just chopping them off.
And it's
Because
crazy.
like that nullifies the threat.
Yeah.
You get the weapon.
Yeah.
We tell him to leave the city and he lives, which is the thing that he wants most.
Yeah.
And we satisfy every criteria of Madame Pouch's. I loved it.
It's sick because I love your way of thinking too, because that's a very
Yeah.
like Clue specific way of thinking. For me, it was the choice was made to Dylan.
yeah.
and then I was receiving the axe, and like I feel like it was going to be like a coming of age moment
Yeah.
for Dylan.
Of like killing him.
Well, he was like
No,
getting ready to either like let him go or like, you know, forgive him, and then essentially Dylan not being robbed of that moment by Clue coming in and just being like, all right, boom, right, chopping the hand off. But like, and I just feel like
judge, jury,
Dylan,
and executioner,
and like Dylan just like, you know, feeling like completely like it felt like it was ripped away from Dylan in the sense where it was like, fuck, I'm trying to like put the words to it, but it was like because Dylan didn't man up, this is what happened.
Like you're not ready for this.
And what happened was so much worse
Yeah.
than just killing him.
Yeah.
Because you removed his hands, and I was like, oh,
Yeah.
Dylan doesn't like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the man is pleading to help, and then Clue just chopped his hands off, and then Dylan's just standing there with the axe being like,
with hands attached to
well,
it.
I was just like, I did this because I didn't make the choice.
What
fast
choice would
enough.
if I
Well,
if
that's
I don't know.
what it felt. That's what it felt like watching it, and that's why I was like, this
was
is
crazy.
so fucked up. Like, and again,
So- no, of course.
Partly, I fucking loved it.
Yeah, no, it was
Like as
great.
Maggie,
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah,
loved
of
it.
course.
But like, I was so because I went through that exact emotional fucking wave.
Right?
I was just like,
So,
holy
it
shit!
felt like
this
it-
changed
yeah.
from like a fight to torture.
Yeah.
And like
If
that's
Clue-
who Clue
Yeah.
potentially.
well,
like,
you
his
don't know any of
background is.
Clue's backstory
don't.
yet.
Well, you
We
did
don't.
mention some shit, right?
I've
You
mentioned some
torturous
stuff.
stuff.
Maybe not torturous, but I've mentioned some stuff to you guys.
You did
Not on
a
the podcast.
You mentioned something about us getting information from someone very early on in the podcast
Oh, yes.
about Bigby. You were like, I torture
Yeah.
folks. I can get some info out.
And
of
so,
them."
like,
information.
Information.
Yeah. Going back to Bigby.
so
but
question.
but like that was such a pivotal moment. And
It
that's
was-
the
that
question. Yeah. If I don't know.
If Clue had not done that,
I don't know.
what would you have
The
done?
craziest thing is
Would you
like
have let him go because he's on his
here's
knees?
the thing. I like literally. I have that feeling like in me right now is that like I do not know because I was not given the chance. And that is fucking
Oh.
awesome because
Yeah.
that is the feeling that I have within me right now, and it's lingering on, and it's so fucking cool because it's such a classic movie trope of like the kid killing
Yeah.
the wounded
Yeah.
animal or letting him go,
And, like,
the
taking too
father
long.
just coming in, taking too long, and just like pop in the head. All right,
I
let's
think
go.
it's also really
it was
interesting.
sick.
It's also really interesting too because like thinking back to all the fights that you guys have had, where like every one of like the main four, like you three and Dax, have had like a moment of finishing someone off.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Dylan had Oda or
Yeah.
Orla. I
Yeah.
honestly forget.
Yeah.
Minx had the other
Very
one.
good.
Yeah.
Dax finished Bigby,
Yeah.
and like Clue didn't have that moment of victory. So maybe
Yeah.
also that was bugging him a bit, where it's like, I am an arm of cord. I need to do something, and
This
like
is justice.
this is justice.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like at the same time, I was so excited to introduce this character of like Rogar because he's a kind of a cool character. Like, he's like,
he seemed cool.
Yeah, he seemed like a lot of fun.
like a former like associate of Madame Pouch has kind
Yeah.
of gone rogue.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of trying to start his own empire.
Yeah, he
in
seemed
line
like
with some really like crooked shit
Yeah.
with like bad people. And like you guys just walk into his like lair essentially.
Yep.
He's all tough shit, and then like just through bad rolls on my end, just like completely diminished him. And the end of the fight, he left with like nothing, no power, no like
Us
Yeah.
waving him goodbye
Yeah.
with his
Well,
hands.
Oh my god.
That
Yeah.
was one of my favorite
I love
moments
that.
of the whole campaign.
I just
imagined
jeez.
That's good.
Well, like, and it's so interesting though, because like the line that like ticked in my brain again. It's hard separating from character
Mhm.
Of course.
because like, but as soon as you were just like, yeah, go tell Ferritin, I was like, he fucking can. What are you talking about? Like that, I don't know. Like in Minx's brain, I was like, that's not only like torturing, that's sloppy work on Clue's end.
Yeah.
Because I was like, you didn't take his tongue, you didn't do anything to stop him from like,
No, but
but in that again, this
Right.
is just like
It
the
can-
stuff
yeah,
that
that
this can
makes this-
still
yeah.
come back and hit us.
And
Like,
I-
why,
but
like I
I
was
al-
like, why would you do that?
I was
That
also
was-
thinking
yeah.
of that, but that was also kind of like that little bit of Clue ego. Clue
Oh, I know.
bravado
Yeah,
of
and
like,
that's
I've taken your hands, I've
Yeah.
taken everything. You're a bad guy. Go tell the worst guy to try us.
it's the false confidence
It
of like
was-
having
yeah.
a fight that should have been
Yeah.
hard was supremely easy.
Yeah.
You feel on
It's-
top of the world,
and that's why Minx like because
Yeah.
and it's funny because that was the line that hit me even more than the hand stuff.
yeah.
It
Right.
was that I
Yeah.
was like, I don't
Oof.
like again. It makes me say like, do I trust Clue?
Yeah.
It's scary.
Because that is a wild card
Yeah.
move. Like that's a
Mhm.
a
And you played it got played so well where because of that move, you left like Dylan speechless, Minx as well. And then that just put you in a position to just like, just be able to pull that other shit off, telling him to like go tell Faradin, right? Very cool. Very cool. And
God.
I think the one thing that I think made Rogar a little bit different for me was that we never actually saw him kill anyone. We never saw him like, Big B took Thorol and murdered Thorol, so that was like instant threat.
Yeah.
But like I feel like, there was a part of Dylan that believed that like Rogar was just a really lonely guy who was a Madame Pouch wannabe and got involved with like the worst
the
people.
wrong crowd.
But like underneath, like maybe he's he's just
here's
a
the thing.
misunderstood person.
I
right?
kind of agree with that.
Yeah.
Though the moment he flashed the red Faradin coin,
For sure.
no.
100
Because I think the
100%.
way Chris explained it was like these guys are willing to do like the difference between the Faradin relic hunters and the Meldar relic hunters are the Faradin ones will do anything to get the
100%.
information.
The information.
Right? So the moment we see that, it's like, okay, this guy's bad. We need to kill him. We need to deal with him.
Yeah. I think, and I love how you also said where it was like, like we now have we have the proof to bring back to Madame Pouch, and I was like, oh shit, that was another layer.
Yeah.
So that was the
like
reason
a third
for me
rail
too.
on everything. Wow.
Yeah.
Very what an ending.
It literally
There's a little bit of,
something clicked in my head where I was like, this is the perfect move for Clue.
Yeah.
Because it's like. It's forethought. It's like reckless, but also forethought towards the logistics of like dealing with this kind of violent transaction with Madame Pouch. Of, like, we need proof that we dealt with him. She wanted him killed. Yeah. We are bringing back both of his hands. Yeah. Like
no, 100%. Man.
It's fucking
It's
awesome.
interesting. It's interesting seeing that. I feel like Minx and I are on the same sort of wavelength where we're like we got not spooked, but like.
Well, I think it's interesting because like in this world, Clue as a paladin of Cord, like I think I briefly explained before, like Cord is not one of like the gods of peace or the gods of chaos. God. He is a neutral god where he doesn't value like righteousness and like
strong, not strong.
He values power and strength. Yeah. So. Like without revealing too much, like there could be
strength and honor. Like there's
sure,
I think,
but there also could be paladins or like followers of Cord in this world that like are not always on the good side. But do get their power from Cord anyways because they are exhibiting signs of strength and like
I think no. I think that it's exactly that because this is the first time Minx is seeing this, and Minx is like, "What's holding you back from not working for the highest bidder?"
Oh, but but like that's interesting.
But that's like again, that's
sure.
fear on my end where I'm like I don't know, like you're doing the bad guy moves, which again can be super fucking cool. I don't disagree with that, but it makes me less trusting.
But here's what I would say. Here's what I would say to that, because I would disagree specifically to the bad guy move. Yeah, because the bad guy move is him on his knees and just cutting his head off.
Is it though?
Yes. Yeah, of course it is.
Why?
Because he is pleading. He values his life over anything else. Right. So he's pleading for his life. Killing him is rejecting all of that. Yeah. If he's pleading for his life, the only way I'm letting this guy go is if he no longer poses a threat. The only way I see him as a arm of Cord is taking away the threat. Taking away his strength. Yeah. Taking away his arms. So like that's the only way I'm gonna let him go is if I cripple him.
He is alive, but it was just done in such a way that
I know
it's very it's very eye for an eye, and I don't like that's hard because it's not.
Oh, so fun! My God,
it's fun to see that there's now tension in the party.
I love
it, and there is essentially there is an elephant in the room between Clue, Minx, and Dylan now, right? Because this is the first time we've come upon something like this within the party.
Is there between Clue and Dylan? Because we were high-fiving his dead hands at the end.
Yeah, I mean that was us playing up the funness and having a goof here and there. But just ultimately, it's like in terms of like Dylan's morals, he also feels very conflicted. But ultimately, killing him is also shitty. But at the same time,
because Clue's whole thing is like. Yeah,
Anyway.
I think it's me plus Clue. We're both the same person. I value I value
Cut to 30 years from now when Hartley's chopping off someone's hands.
Yeah, I value the life
They
way
asked for
more.
it.
This is just.
Yeah, add in the paper.
I just really think life is more valuable
100%.
whether or not you're crippled than right.
Yeah, 100%.
So I was in my mind as Clue. I was going like I kind of somehow check every box with this, even though it might not be like the just way.
Yeah.
It's not the peaceful way, but this is a way where he gets what he wants, not everything he wants, but
sure.
he just lost.
Yeah,
you know,
100%, man.
He gets everything he deserves.
Yeah,
we get everything we need. And we're no one like I don't know. I love it.
It's a vicious cycle, right? Like it is very much just like, oh, you killed my friend, I'll kill your friend. It's not killing each other. It's killing everything that they love around them until they're like it's that feeling, right? And I'm like, that is a more fucked up way to live though sometimes. And that's
I cannot wait for this episode to come out. I want somebody to message me about this.
This is so good. Yes, please message us, folks.
Please.
Tell us what you think. Tell us if you're enjoying the show. Send us any questions.
What would you have done?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, it was Clue just.
I would have rolled higher than a 3.
It was done in a very Clue standy way, and I think it was absolutely perfect for all of our characters.
It was fucking great.
It was one of my favorite episodes.
I think this is my favorite episode.
Really?
By far, I think this is my favorite episode. Yeah.
I think we've had some
especially
really
certainly my favorite combat episode.
By far that.
Yes.
For sure.
Oh, it's because it's the first time
we fucking did a good job.
Asses handed to us.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Well, I'd love to just quickly keep that quick segment going of us just saying a couple of things that we are watching, enjoying, or doing anything. Anyone? Sorry.
Ooh.
I got less than last week. But
anyone watching anything? Anyone doing anything? Anyone reading anything cool?
I've been playing a lot of Baldur's Gate still fucking loving it.
Yep.
Also, okay, side note, not nerdy specifically, but I started watching Gilmore Girls. And every fucking take
It's
I
the
see
season
about
for
these
it.
characters, yeah, because I was like, oh, Autumn, love it. Every fucking post, it's like, we hate Dean and all these. No, he is the only fucking saint. Anyways, I just think that people have some hot takes on that show.
I love Gilmore Girls.
People should really reassess it.
I've seen Gilmore Girls.
I watched it with my mom all the time when I was growing up.
Man, okay,
Yeah.
both Rory and her mom, Laura, they both suck.
Yeah.
They're both giant narcissists.
Yeah.
It's
What is no one
insane.
talks about? He's singing the theme song, Chris.
Oh, okay.
Chris.
Also, Melissa McCarthy in that show, fucking dope. Also,
Yes.
and like the best friend
my
in
God,
that show,
yeah.
also amazing. And apparently they're gonna shit on her storyline. I don't know what happens, but apparently it gets bad. And that's
This is not the first time you're watching it, right?
yeah, it's the first time I'm watching
never
it.
seen
it's the first time you're
Gilmore
watching
Girls?
No,
Gilmore
and
Girls.
that's why it's a big. Yeah, I'm just
Wow.
eating through it right now.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it's like my work show right
It's
now.
been a very
Nice.
long
So,
time since
yeah.
I watched it.
We love a
but,
work show.
Oh, it's just like just doing little edits and stuff. I'm just like eating through this show.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I've been what's it called? I wanted to wait. This is kind of embarrassing. I like watching. So I'm watching The Wheel of Time. Season 2, which is good. I have waited to watch the final episode because I like also watching right after I watch the episode, watching a review of a guy. His name, a YouTuber. His name's Daniel Green.
Cool.
I love his like perspectives. He's got all the same tastes in fantasy and stuff like that I do. So I like watching his reviews right after I watch the episode to like confirm all of my feelings on the episode. So I waited for a couple of weeks, and now I'm going to watch that tomorrow.
Sick.
And then I'm going to watch the episode that he recently put out because he was away for a couple of weeks.
Beautiful.
So that's a shout out to Daniel Green on YouTube. He doesn't need it because he's very famous as far as
Daniel Green.
Daniel Green.
We want to shout out back now.
Please,
An
oh my
eye for
God.
an eye. We've learned today.
Hartley loves you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He's
Or,
also-
or
he's
two
also-
arms for two arms.
He's also a writer. I'm getting around to reading his book soon.
nice.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Sick.
And yeah, that's pretty much it. I
Cool.
also bought Baldur's Gate. I'm not enjoying it as much because I'm playing it split screen.
Yeah.
You gotta change
Figure
your
that out.
setups. Yep.
Yeah.
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 Meek and I are playing it. We're getting through it. So far so good. A lot of fun. Chris?
Finally finished Hogwarts Legacy.
Yes, you 100% did that,
100%.
motherfucker.
You're
Holy
right.
shit, dude. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. And then I started watching for the first time Fantasy High Season 2 because they announced Season
Ooh.
3 is coming out in the
Oh
new year.
shit.
So gonna do that. Yeah, not too much. Just preparing for the next session.
Sick. Awesome. I watched a movie recently called I Like Movies on Netflix.
Nice.
A lot of people I know worked on it. It was shot in Burlington. Support CanCon. Check it out.
It's on my watch list.
Yeah, really good movie.
Watch it.
Really good movie. Yeah, 110%. Go check it out. Watch it on Netflix. It is, I was going to say free, but it's on Netflix. So you're paying monthly, but you don't know it.
Yeah.
Ooh, I also did a double feature of Death Becomes Her and The Witches of Eastwick. Great double feature choice together.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Spooky?
For spooky season.
Spooky season.
So this will be post spooky season, but I guess in around Christmas, if you want a Halloween vibe,
Halloween movie.
I stand by it. Yeah.
Sweet.
Hot ladies doing witchy things.
Amazing. Well, I think that will wrap up this last call. I think it
long
was another
one.
long one as well.
It was a long
Holy.
one.
Yeah. A lot to talk
But
about.
once again, thank you so much for listening to Trouble at the Tavern, joined by Chris, Mike, Hartley, and Maggie. We'll see you next time. Take it away with the slow jazz.
Episode
Jazz.
20!